Hello, welcome to an episode of We're the Greers. It has been a while, and we will sort of talk about what's been going on with us on Saturday. Today, we want to talk about holiday Christmas traditions. And so, Merry Christmas, first of all, from our family to yours. And we thought we'd start off by sort of thinking about some of our own Christmas memories or traditions that we had growing up. And I didn't really have a lot of Christmas. I don't feel like we had a lot of family traditions growing up. We went to my dad's parents, their house on Christmas Day after we opened up our presents at our house. We went to my parents' house and my mother's parents' house to celebrate with them. But I don't really think of those as traditions, just sort of family gatherings. And but there is one thing that as Benjamin and I were married, we had kids especially, we had to decide on, because I grew up where Santa did not wrap presents. You woke up Christmas morning and you walked into the living room area, and my sister's presents were in one place, my presents were in another place, and they were all unwrapped, and it was just like walking into a toy store. It was really fun, and have great memories of the presents being unwrapped. Benjamin, on the other hand, he grew up with a different experience.
Yes. The presents were placed with bows perfectly under the tree. After Santa had checked his list twice to find out that I was doubly nice, so I got twice as many presents as all of my siblings. But no, they were always wrapped. It was always, the paper was always the same color. It was always super neat and super nice. And we got these stockings. And remember these? Those things were huge. I think they were like 4 foot tall. I used to love opening those. A lot of times it was stuff, like just household type things. But like in college, that was great because it'd be like, don't buy razors or... shaving cream. Nope, don't need to get any toothpaste. I'll get some of that for Christmas. So that was always fun. Santa hooked me up on toiletries, especially in my stocking.
Yeah. Well, when we got married, we had to make decisions, and I think because I didn't really grow up with a lot of holiday traditions, I wanted to make sure to incorporate some in our home. And I think the one thing I want to convey as we share our family traditions that we've sort of come up with, not all of these are traditions that we began, like Presley, who is our oldest child, the very first year she was born. Some of these are actually things that we started doing 4 or 5 years ago. We would heard about it and thought, well, that's a cool idea, or let's try that. And so if you have older kids, I want to just encourage you that it's not too late to start now. It's not even too late to start if you have grandkids. Some of these might apply to you. And so the first one is our Christmas pajamas.
Yep.
And we do this. This isn't anything like profound, but we our family gets Christmas pajamas on Thanksgiving after we eat Thanksgiving dinner. And so it's sort of funny because they're
always too small.
Well, yeah, there's that. But we have them wrapped and they're under the tree, and the kids are like, there's a present, we get unwrap a present, and it's almost like they have amnesia, or they just choose to forget that, and finally someone's like, it's Christmas pajamas, y'all. It's normally went to Presley, but they get them, and that way we get to enjoy the Christmas pajamas all season long. And Benjamin, y'all got Christmas pajamas, but y'all opened them up on Christmas Eve, I think.
So. I remember us I don't even know if it was for the guys. May have been just for the ladies.
Yeah,
but
I
remember there was some Christmas pajama stuff, but I don't remember the details of it.
So that's our first one, Christmas pajamas.
Not my favorite of our traditions, mind you.
This year we had elf pajamas, and everybody had them all the way down to Margaret. Sometimes the parents don't get them. I think it's more, the kids think it's hilarious when we have them too, and it's fun and silly. So that's our one tradition. You want to do the next one?
No, you better go ahead. I might forget one.
Okay. We like to do Advent And
Oh,
so
yeah,
we
that's a
read the
good one.
Jesus Storybook Bible starting on December 1st. My sister made ornaments, which you can search Jesus Storybook, Advent ornaments, printables. I was trying to say ornaments and printables, and so it came out like ornables. But, and there's free resources out there. Check it out. But we start that on December 1st, and you read a Bible story each day leading up to Christmas. And it's a great way for the kids to learn how everything points to Jesus. And we love putting our ornaments on the tree. We also, over the last couple of years, have done like Advent, like fun ones, like Harry Potter Lego is what we have this year. In the past, Disney had
Zoom.
Zoom. I'm always confused on how if it's
Yeah,
Zum
that's how
or
we say
Zoom
it.
Zooms. That one was a really fun one. We couldn't find that one this year. But if you search Advent calendar, there's lots of different ones. I can't talk today. Different ones out there, and there are even like chocolate ones that I got from World Market for $1.50 a piece. So different price ranges. Another thing that we like to do is wrapping paper.
Oh yeah, the wrapping paper. I'll talk about the
Yeah.
wrapping paper so you can catch your breath over there. So now this has changed a few times as our family has grown. So initially, each person got a different wrapping paper. So that sort of kept up the tradition of us like having, the wrapping paper being pretty matching under the tree. When I was growing up, so each person had a particular paper. So it would be like one person had plaid, one person had red, one person, whatever. And then as became more important that it matches the home decor in our home over the last few years, we now do every gift is wrapped in the same present that goes to like our immediate family. And the string or the bows are a different color. And then anyone outside of our family has a different colored paper. And so it's always super cool. One is Dad, like to confuse the kids on like, oh, this is mine. Like I know I wanted this gift and it looks like this. And, so all mine have to be the blue paper or the blue ribbon to like, trick them and watch them to try to figure out what it is. But that's always really, really fun. And that's probably my second favorite of the traditions that we do currently.
You didn't really mention the fact that like the kids don't know who, like,
Oh, yes.
you sort of insinuated that towards the
Yeah.
end, but yeah, the kids don't know which wrapping paper, which ribbon now is whose ribbon. And all of our presents are under the tree throughout the entire Christmas season. Santa Claus doesn't
Yeah, I didn't
bring
think about
us presents on Christmas Day. In case anyone out there with young kids is watching, Santa brings them earlier, I guess you could say. And so,
We live way out in the country. He's got to get a
yeah.
head start.
And so, the presents are under the tree the whole Christmas season. And so they have a fun time trying to figure out whose presents must be whose. Another tradition we have is we have like 12 of them, and for some reason I should have, I guess,
So the
jotted
next
them
one,
down.
my favorite one, and this is because I grew up with my grandmother who made all kind of cakes and bakery goods
okay,
and
yeah.
stuff. But like, so when I was growing up, like you'd get a plate. And I remember when I had my first job, I worked at the Bilo. The Bilo.
The Bilo.
Not just Bilo, the Bilo.
It's a grocery store.
Yeah. And I'd get this tray like this to take to, like, everyone got one, and you took them to work or you took them to school when I was in college or whatever. And it was all homemade treats. And I remember growing up helping her make them, and there was like, let's say there was homemade chocolate covered cherries, and then we did peanut butter balls, and we did like mint bales with sugar on them or something. And
They're like these cheese date kind of like biscuity type of, I don't know, I wouldn't call them a cracker, but yeah.
Those
They
were
were good.
Those were
Those
real
are my
good.
favorites.
And so what we do now is sometimes we actually find one of those old recipes and we'll try to replicate it. But we do some type of, like holiday baking or cookies or something. I don't know exactly
Yeah.
the best way to word it, but we make sweet food and eat it, and it's good.
Well, sometimes it's Chex Mix and stuff like that too. It's not necessarily always sweet, but we do like to do holiday baking and be intentional with that. Another thing that we started doing a few years ago is on Christmas Eve. And we didn't really have any family gatherings on Christmas Eve. And so we started making, and Benjamin would have to normally work pretty
yeah.
late on Christmas Eve. And so we started making shrimp and grits and sometimes crab legs
Yeah, we did that one year.
for like dinner on Christmas Eve. So it's like this special Christmas Eve dinner. We also like to make Christmas breakfast and invite our parents, the grandparents over to watch kids open up presents. I know that there's other.
We watch the
traditions.
Christmas movies. That's about the
We
only
like to
other thing
watch
I can
Christmas
remember.
movies. But I think really what it gets down to is we wanted to make the whole season, really Thanksgiving up until Christmas, be a special time and to not really revolve just around presents and gifts, but really being intentional about making memories. We also like to go look at holiday lights. You know, we do that one night. But those are just a few ideas of things that you might want to incorporate. Another idea very quickly is that we let the kids draw each other's names, and depending on the budget, I mean, you can even be like, I'm going to take you to the Dollar Tree and you spend $1 and buy something for your sibling. But that's always been a big hit because they enjoy trying to figure out what they're going to buy for their person, who got their name. And so that's been fun, especially if you have, I guess, multiple kids like we do.
Yeah.
So I think those are some of our, I guess, most special
Yep.
ideas. But we hope that they can help give you some ideas for some stuff to do for your Christmas. You got anything else you want to add?
No. I mean, I think the main thing is sort of we were talking about was like they all revolve around family. You know, there's some gifts involved, there's some food involved, there's some entertainment, watching movies, but like the intentionality behind all of it is like we're doing it as a family and inviting, you know, extended family in to be a part of it. And I know that like that's what I remember the most, and that was sort of the decision that we made was like, let's do these things as a family, and hopefully as our 6 kids grow up and move away, that they'll take some of them with them, and then we'll still be able to, you know, be a part of some new ones that
That's
revolve
right.
around family.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with us, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas, but we'll see you on Saturday before Christmas, so come and check us out, man.